The deadline is approaching. Here's your FPL Gameweek 10 preview. I took you through my team, transfers I've either made or going to make, captaincy, and just how the team is looking at the moment in terms of formation, who's on my bench, who's not, do I plan to play any chips. Keen to get your thoughts as well. Gameweek 10 could be a big one for FPL managers. If you're new, please like and subscribe to the channel. So let's get into it then this week. I've made 2 transfers. I've firstly brought out James Tarkowski of Everton and Bruno Fernandes of Manchester United. So that means Tarkowski and Fernandes are out of the team. They make their way out. They've been transferred out. 2 coming in. Bukayo Saka for Bruno Fernandes is about £1 million more, I think it was. So it didn't quite leave me enough. I think it was 0.7 over. So I had to save money elsewhere. And James Tarkowski is a player that, I know David Moyes is a defensive manager, but Everton haven't impressed me defensively anyway. I think they're good going forward. I still think they have a good season because they've got a top manager. I actually think they could be fighting for the latter stage of Europe, at least the top half Everton. But the point is they're conceding too many. To have Tarkowski, he was, I think, 5.5 in there. I know that's not a lot, don't get me wrong, but there are cheaper defenders in there, let's be honest with you about that. So I bought in Achapong for Chelsea, the young defender. I think he's 19 years of age, isn't he? He might be 20 now, and he costs significantly less. He's 4.8 or 4.9, which allowed me literally on the dot. I think it was very close to make that transfer. Let's have a look then how my team is looking. I'll tell you the exact amount. I'll tell you what, I'm wrong about that. Arumapong, the defender, 3.9 million he was, which leaves me 0.7 in the bank. That's a lot cheaper than I thought. Okay, fair enough. I know James Tarkowski was a lot of money, so I thought, right, okay, you're not keeping clean sheets, so I am going to take you out of that defence. That's the way that I did view it, and I think that's the right thing, because 5.5 for Tarkowski is so much more than Gahey, it's more than Porro and all these players that some of them I have in my defence. It just didn't seem right. I know he's an aerial threat, so you probably pay a lot for what he can provide in the box with headers, but for me it just seemed necessary to change that. So those are my 2 transfers. I did not express that I'd take Jurgen Strand Larsen out of my team, and I say this every game with him. I'm going to give him one more opportunity. Fulham away. Fulham for me haven't been awful, but they're just lacking that cutting edge. I think Fulham are making too many individual errors. It's just little mistakes that are proving costly. It's the fine margins in football that are costing Fulham. I don't think they're that far away from top 10 finish. They've been in a relegation scrap. I think it's really fine margins. We've seen how things quickly change these early stages, well, especially this season. The table is proper weird. So Fulham, I think, will navigate themselves up the table, but they need to be making less errors and just need to be able to take their chances. That cutting edge that I talk about better in the final third, and I think Marco Silva's got it wrong in my opinion in start 11 substitutes, etc. But those 2 changes for me. So I'm setting up with a 3-4-3 formation. See there, Roof's in goal. I think I'm going to go with him, and I'm confident I'm going to go with him. In fact, over Donnarumma. I think Bournemouth are an attacking threat, not so much as before in recent games, but they're still very good going forward. And I just think Sunderland have a smaller chance of keeping a clean sheet. But you'll see in my team that I complete caveat that with Grealish and Ndai in the team. I just think it's hard to ignore them, if that makes sense. So I might opt towards Donnarumma. That's a possibility, although I am confident I'll stick with it. I totally get that it's not good to have players playing against each other, but I do like to be that manager that covers all kind of bases, if that makes sense. And I think that Roofs can still make saves and get 3 or 4 points, and Ndai and Grealish can still do okay and assist each other. So onto the defence, Pedro Porro against Chelsea. Chelsea are always going to be a threat going forward, but I think Porro could get an attack in return in this Chelsea because their injuries haven't been superb defensively. So Porro's a possibility. I think you always got to have him in there with attacking threat. Whether I'll keep hold of him, if I'm honest with you, when the likes of Destiny, a doggy come back, I don't know. Having said that, I think Porro's position is cemented in that Spurs team. It feels tough though to take Jets Ben South. A good dilemma for Frank to have. 3 good fullbacks, excluding Ben Davies, who is of course still injured. Gahey against Brentford. I'm not too sure. I think Brentford will provide a little bit of threat going forward. Jordan Henderson's got an unreal passing range that we've seen already. What a signing he's been, by the way. Kevin Schade has been a real nuisance, but I don't think it's a definite that Brentford scores. I think with going with Mark Gahey makes sense. Constantly, then I have got in the team at the moment, actually, away to Liverpool, and who would have thought you'd play the defender away to Liverpool? But Liverpool just aren't that threat going forward. It's as simple as that, and Villa are on a run, so I have got him in that team. I mean, I just don't think that it's like, oh my god, you shouldn't play him anymore. So I could take him out of the team, but for me, I think it maybe has a slight better chance of a return or a clean sheet than Van de Ven against Chelsea, slightly, but again 50-50 maybe with that one. Midfield then, and dying Grealish, it just feels hard to, when you have that type of player, to leave them out of the team. Bukayo Saka, who I bought in this week, I think is a captain's contender, although we're giving the armband to Nick Guatemala, which I'll get into in just a second. Mohamed Kudus as well against Chelsea. I think Chelsea are bound to concede. There's going to be goals in the Tottenham and Chelsea game. I think both teams will concede. Haaland against Bournemouth, again, you can't ignore him, even though I think Bournemouth have been very good. Just can't ignore him. I know he didn't get a return last time out, only the second time he hasn't across all competitions this season, for club or country. Only 2 games, club and country, in every single competition. So just say that again. It's just incredible for Haaland. Only 2 that he has managed not to score. Nick Guatemala, again, talk about impossible to ignore. Scored, of course, in the League Cup. Don't know what Kinski's thinking from that, but still, Guatemala, right place, right time, and a real threat. Gave the Spurs back line something to think about. João Palhinha in particular, playing out position there. But I think it's West Ham away. I mean, Nuno's team are usually good defensively, but West Ham's defence is a mess right now. So right now I am banking a Guatemala before Nuno sorts out those defensive problems. Jurgen Strand Larsen, well, I didn't mean to do that. I'll certainly take the vice-captain's armband off him. That he won't have that. But he probably will start in this team because Fulham are making too many individual errors out from the back. That is my thinking. Again, it's not definite that he starts. I don't plan to make a -4 or anything like that to get him out of the team, but there's literally, I'm so confident that he comes out after that with Chelsea away and Palace at home next. That's when Chelsea, I don't think, but even though I said that they are not defensively sound, but the absolute minimum, is another week and comes out in the one after that. But fingers crossed he provides me this week and rewards my loyalty, if that makes sense. But no, that's me with Game Week 10. I think the only things that aren't locked in for me is the captain's armband, whether it's Saka or Guatemala is my real consideration. I don't think the goalkeepers are definite now. I think about it even more. But apart from that, I don't see a lot changing. A lot of people go, Harry, why did you spend 4 points on the transfer to bring Pong in? Well, I wouldn't have been able to go from Fernandes to Saka without making a transfer. And I just think Pong for the future. I know Chelsea, as I said, aren't keeping clean sheets now. The defence is... Do you know, the defence, Amaresk have done well with the injuries they've had. I'll give them that. But they aren't keeping clean sheets as much as they would. But players are coming back. They've got a couple of them there, Fofana and Tosin Adebayo, which, of course, doesn't mean Pong's position's locked in. But I just think for 3.9, did I say? Check here. 3.9 million. I just think I can't really ignore that as someone that's playing quite a bit at the moment, and Maresca clearly likes. He's admitted that too. So that's my team. I think, again, it's around the average, but it was downward arrow last week. So I'm feeling okay, content about this week. That's all I would say. I'm never too confident as an individual. Although I try to look at it with glass half full, I don't think I'm fantastic at FPL. Hopefully there's worse out there too, in the nicest way. Hopefully it's not you, by the way. I wish all FPL managers, of course, good luck for Game Week 10. But thank you very much for watching. Reminder, the deadline is a little bit later because there's no there's no Friday night kickoff and there's no Saturday lunchtime kickoff. So the first game is a 3 p.m. kickoff on Saturday, where there's a few. So the deadline is 1:30 p.m. on Saturday, so you've got plenty of time. That's UK time, of course. But subscribe if you're new. Hope you're enjoying this FPL content that's new to the channel this year. Thank you for the support as always. It means a lot. The channel is growing quickly, day by day, quicker than I can keep up. So I really do appreciate your support. Good luck.